Fussell. Dennis is a Tai Chi instructor, among other things. So we're going to be doing some demonstration, but first of all, I want to introduce you and to say welcome to Dennis. Hi.
Well, thank you, Ruth.
He's brought a lot of, what do you call these, balls?
Well, these are called, the actual art of the rotation of the balls is called bakai. It means valuable. These are some of the original, or I shouldn't say original, because the original ones were solid stainless steel. Now they have chimes in them, and the chimes are for the meditation, relaxation part of it, but the rotation of the balls and things are called bakai, and it means valuable. And I think they are very valuable. Both of my thumbs have been injured in work accidents, and by using these balls and the exercises of them, I'm sure that I don't have arthritis in them, and thunderstorms don't take me by surprise, per se. But I did bring a few different ones to show people that you don't necessarily have to go out and buy you know, $11 or $12 set of these, or these are little rubber balls from a little carnival shop, 39 cents a piece. These work really good in the retirement homes that I go into, because we use these to stretch the fingers and the knuckles, and they can't. The first time I went in there with these, it was bowling for dollars, because they couldn't hold on to these, and we were running all over the place catching them. So I kind of came up with these, and as you see, you have golf balls over there even that would work very well with them. Those are another size of rubber balls. The most important thing is to find the correct size. If you'd like for me to demonstrate a little bit of the exercises. When we have these in our fingers here, the important thing to see here is these balls do a 3 and sometimes 4-fold purpose. Number one, when our hands cramp up, most of the time we find ourselves wringing our hands to try to relieve the pressure or the pain. What you want to do is go to the place that is screaming at you, and that's your joints. So you could do more by touching in between your fingers on the soft places of your hands than you ever could wringing your fingers out. There's not a whole lot that this does for us besides squeeze the fingers together. So now what this ball does is it sets into these. What I first try to show people is how to massage the hands with these, and the balls fit right into the little sockets here. As the ball sets into here, then the fingers come around and hold on to the ball. Once you're here, you move back and forth from these knuckles now. We're used to leading from the fingertips. If you lead from the fingertips here, you'll lose the ball. So what you have to do is constantly hold on to this ball so that you would be able to do it like this, and you're stretching the fingers and the forearms all the way up into the shoulders. So you would do that into each section of the fingers, here and here. Then the next one is for the palms of the hand, for the thumb. The thumb grabs a hold of the ball, and again, you're leading from this part of the thumb back and forth. So not the thumb tip, but this part, which makes us move this unseen joint down here where carpal tunnel gets. Okay, that's the stretching exercises. So some of the dexterity exercises, which you know are a little bit harder than what they look, here's one. It's a dexterity exercise. The ball fits in the middle two fingers. The other fingers come in here and hold on to the ball so that you form this crescent moon around it. And what you do then is stretch the 2 middle fingers out and then stretch the 2 outside fingers out. So these are all dexterity exercises here to help us open up the lines of communication a little more.
And I want to say, if you're trying this at home, it's not as easy as it looks when he's doing it.
It's not. It's not. Now, what we do is take the other ball and we put it in the palm of the hand. This is called tiger claw. This is movement number 1. In the rotation of these balls, let me show you with these, because these make a lot more noise. What you'll find some people do is they pick these balls up and they go like this. And that is called no control. In other words, nobody really has a job here. The fingers are just kind of doing this. What you're supposed to be able to do is to rotate these without clanging them, so that at each place there is control of the balls, so they're not out of control. This particular movement is called tiger claw. The next movement is called sleeping praying mantis. In this position, where we have one ball up here and one here, we move one finger at a time. We move finger number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. If you do this at home, you'll find that finger number 3 seems to be the problem child in this family because both of them seem to want to lift up. But what you want to do is try to open up the lines of communication to one finger at a time because these are like 4 children here, 5 being the bully of the family. You need to open up the lines of communication to one finger at a time so that you can rekindle this communication here. And the next movement is called frog eyes. That's where this set of fingers just pulls back into here, and you stretch back and forth, and you do dexterity from here. So there's a lot of exercises within this one exercise. So when I show people this, they go, well, teach me that. That's a great looking exercise. You have to go back here and stretch the fingers and strengthen them up before you can ever learn to rotate them. But what you'll find, the most important thing is to pick the right size of ball that will fit into your knuckle that you can hold on to. So you don't want it too small, but you don't want it so big that you can't move it either. So the most important thing is to pick the right sizes of these. Golf balls seem to work good.
Yeah, they're kind of a medium size.
They are. They may be a little harder to hold on to because these are real slick. The surfaces of these are real slick. But again, the chimes on these for meditation or just for relaxation are really nice because we kind of consider them as dinner bells for your energy to bring you back home because as you go around St. Louis, you leave a piece of you everywhere. So when you get home, you need to recollect everything and call everything back home so that you can be a little more centered. We use this before classes sometimes, and it makes our study much easier. People find that they don't have to be told things 3 or 4 times. My 11-year-old stepson has used it for homework. I have a 9-year-old that was in my class last night that says they use it before school. On the way on the bus, they'll chime them in their ears and they just relax and it makes their day better. So it's kind of neat to hear it from, I work with the elderly, and now it's kind of neat to hear it from the younger side too. So what's nice is it does benefit. There are no dividing lines here.
Right.
I learned the stretching exercises not knowing that there was another. When I first was introduced to this at 19 years old by a Chinese family, I had never seen these. And I didn't know that there was a rotation of them. I just thought we put one in each hand, and I just thought this was it. So the things that I was taught was one section at a time, not knowing there was ever another level. And what I've come to find out at 20 years into it is that it never ends. There's always another level. Okay. Works into the shoulders, into the elbows, into the wrist, and into the palms of the hands.
Yeah, I like that. That is wonderful, Dennis.
Okay, now we start with stretching the hands and stretching the fingers a little bit. There are 3 places on the bottom, on the palm, where there's soft spots on the ridges of the hands that the balls can be held at. They're in between your fingers. So one is held by the 2 little fingers, and the ball sets right there in that little crevice. The 2 middle fingers, and the 2 closest to the thumb. You always want 2 fingers in control of the ball. So starting the 2 little fingers, and one in each hand, you just pull forward and back. The key to this is let your fingertips hold on to the ball. Don't let go of it with your fingertips. So when you pull back, you still have control of the ball. Okay? Nice and slow. You're really stretching. So when you pull back from your knuckles. Don't wake your fingertips up and go like that, because then you lose your stretch. Keep your fingers holding on to the ball and just move from your knuckles. Okay? The 2 middle fingers. Shift them over, same thing. Stretch back and forth. The faster you do this, the more menial it is for you. The slower you do it, the more you get out of it. Remember, don't let go of that ball. So when you pull back, make sure your fingertips are still holding on to the ball. Okay, and then the 2 fingers closest to the thumb. So we watch across the hand, doing these stretching exercises. Okay, now the ball goes into the palm of the hand. Our thumb grabs a hold of it. We're going to pull back. Oh, that's wonderful.
The shoulder was more like
it's going the other way. Incoming, incoming. It's Yoko's.
That's another reason why I use rubber ones. They bounce instead of break. Easier on your toes. You drop these. Hurt your toe. We're pulling back and relax. Pull. Talk about carpal tunnel. Here's the one that'll chase that out. This will get movement. See, this gets movement back down into your, I call it the unseen joint. It's right where your thumb is. There's a joint right here in our hands, and we don't see it. And we certainly don't move it much. Okay? Now, what we just did is we kind of went through the motions loosening up our fingers and our joints. Now we're going to go to the dexterity exercises, so it gets easier from here. Ah, watch your toes. The original ones were cannonballs. You're welcome. Okay. Place the ball in the middle two fingers. Again, if you relax your hands down on your lap, if you just kind of relax them, it's much easier for your finger to move, much easier on your shoulders. I'll hold them up so that you can see the views that you want to. Now you can do them with your feet too if you can do it. I can do it. Okay. The ball is in the middle two fingers. Take your two outside fingers and stretch them out as far as they'll stretch. Just stretch them. Stretch the fingers out as far as they stretch. Got it? Fold the fingers so that they match your two inside fingers. Fold them at the knuckles so your fingertips are taking a bow. Even that little finger. There you go.
Look how resistant that one was.
Okay?
Now?
It gets better. Okay, now, by moving your knuckles, you're going to bring your outside knuckles in and touch the ball. Touch the ball with your knuckles and stretch your two inside fingers while your two outside fingers are holding on. Try not to use your thumb. Try to keep everything folded. That little finger is hard to keep folded in because it wants to straighten out. But you can do it. Okay, fold. Grab with the two middle fingers. Release with the two outside fingers and stretch. So here's one of the best beneficial moves of this. Is you fold and you just touch and release. You make your hand, your knuckles and your fingers move sideways. So you touch the ball and then release the ball. Touch, release, touch, release. You're just moving, you're pretending you don't have fingertips. And you're just moving from the knuckles. Boy, that's tough. I can kick about 10 or 15 of those off and my wrist really starts feeling.
Behind you.
Okay? So once you're there, bending here, just touch and release. Touch and release. Just try to get those fingers to move sideways. Tough, isn't it? It feels wonderful though. I know it does. It hurts.
That's how it translates. Wonderful.
That's my translation for wonderful.
That's Japanese.
Now you can feel like you truly had a class class.
Okay, take the other ball, place it in the palm of your hand, let your thumb hold on to it. This is movement number one in the rotating of the ball. This is movement number one, tiger paw or tiger claw. Okay, we're going to do the same thing again now. Stretch, stretch. You're just alternating the two middle fingers, the two outside. A little bit harder.
Alright, go.
Stretch, 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 stretch. Movement number one. Movement number two is called sleeping praying mantis. The middle ball is going to shift over to your two fingers closest to your thumb. The way to do this is to tell your ring finger to just lift up, and it shifts the ball over to your two fingers. Get those two fingers holding here. It empties out your two little fingers. Okay, the two little fingers are going to come down and get the ball from the thumb. It's a handoff. It should look like this. The ball is still in your palm. The ball is not moving. It's just your fingers hand off, your thumb hands off, pull that back down into the palm. There you go. There. This is sleeping praying mantis. There's a movement in the second form called sleeping praying mantis, and it looks like this. So your feet kind of mimic these two little fingers, your hands mimic these two. It's called sleeping praying mantis.
Feels good to do push-ups.
And it feels good when you do the next move, yes. Okay, now this is the one where we move one finger at a time. So we're just going to start with the index finger, stretch it out, bring it back. Keep your thumb away and relax. Bring your other finger, or other hand over here and move your thumb and relax it a little bit. Because you waste a lot of energy out this thumb if it's going. Okay, and it makes it much harder to move your fingers. Okay, here we go. Number 1, stretch it out. Okay, number 2, stretch it out, bring it back. What we're trying to do it nice and slow. What we're trying to do is move one finger at a time, so no other fingers apply. Number 3, relax that thumb. See, if your thumb touches this ball, it engages all these muscles here and tightens them up. Pull it back and keep them relaxed. Just number 3.
One won't do it.
If you can't, do this for me. Relax that finger and take your other hand over here and just stretch it. It's okay. They hang out together a lot, so.
No. This isn't your puppy. No,
Okay.
I don't know if he'll bite you or not.
And number 4.
She went.
So number 3 is kind of the problem child, isn't it?
This is part of Chinese torture. Teaching him to do one finger
But it's not your puppy.
That goes along with the drip theory, you know, where they take the water and drip it on your forehead.
Would you rather do the drip or the Chinese chime balls?
They both feel wonderful.
I don't know whose dog that is.
Okay, now take finger number 1, stretch it and hold it. Take finger number 3, stretch it and hold it. Just hold it.
Got an ankle.
I forgot all your torture
Well,
exercises.
Okay? Up. Number 4. You got one finger at home holding the ball.
He's gonna hear me out there talking.
Hi, lovey.
Could hear everybody talking. I could hear me, so I guess we're easy.
These are the dexterity exercises in sleeping praying mantis. The next movement is called frog eyes. The 2 little fingers pull that ball back so that they're both riding on the ridge of the hand. So 2 buggy eyes looking at you. Okay? Now in this position what we do is alternate back and forth. We pull one forward, pull the other one forward. So we just stretch back and forth here. It's the same thing we opened up with. If we take one ball out, same thing we started with. We're just alternating them now.
And the balls aren't supposed to touch, right?
You're not supposed to touch.
Well, then, thank you.
Just a spread your finger.
Yeah. If
Well,
you,
I've got
yeah.
Oh, that's
my
Spread 'em. Yeah. See now they don't when you spread them out. But it's tough. Yeah, you gotta.
So the balls aren't too big.
Well, they are pretty big. I mean, I would recommend the size, just the size. Those are too small. I would recommend a size lower, which is about. These are the chime balls that they sell. This size are a little bit bigger than these. Are the perfect. Seem like the perfect size. Those are a little too big. There's a size. Yeah.
Are
There's
those the same as those?
Yeah. There's a size just under that is perfect.
Why don't you trade with her?
I thought she wanted them. You wanted to work with those, didn't you?
Well, I like the looks of them.
it's important.
That's very important.
I mean, who has those big ones? Who has the big
those
ones?
are the ones I really
I had them, but I
like.
put them back in the
They're
bag.
too big for my hand.
When I got a hold of these things, go ahead and switch hands.
Isn't that nice?
When I saw these, they were going to send these back
I love
to the
those.
store, and they said, "Well, these are too big. Nobody's going to be able to use those." And I said, "Well, let me look at them because I really like the chimes that were in them because they just chime on and on." And so then I started saying, "Well, maybe I'll try to work with them." And when I first got them, they clanged when I did exercises with them, but they took my hands to another level. So because I was so used to working the little ones, my fingers stayed here. But when I grabbed these and moved back and forth, I really had to spread those fingers out so that they didn't touch. So what we see people do is they grab hold and oh, I know what these are for. You just kind of go like that. See? And that is not what these are doing. They're doing this. That is the rotating of them. So that when they don't touch, there's control. here. Every finger knows what it's doing. Everybody's got a purpose, and they're working in unity together. Here, nobody has a purpose. I'm just slinging them around, and that's the reason they fall. So there's no control here. There is here. But I had to go slower, and I had to go more relaxed and everything. That's kind of the...
Remember what it does first. I think I like those balls.
Yeah, but you know, that's the pinnacle of rotating these. I'd rather see people get these dexterity exercises down and the stretching things. If you never got the rotating of them down, that would be fine. Okay, switch over to your other hand and see if you can do some of these with the other hand. Remember, you start out with tiger paw, doing the same thing, and I'm going to tell you, your left hand can do anything that your right hand can do. This is tiger paw. This is the one we do that in this culture of ours. And if you just get that thing going sideways without even stretching your fingers out, it's a great benefit. It's such a small movement, but boy, it's a great benefit into the forearms and the wrist. Just touch, release, touch, release. Okay, sleeping praying mantis. That's the one where your ring finger shifts that ball over to the two fingers closest to your thumb. It empties out your two little fingers. They come down and grab the ball from the thumb. So it's like this now. There you go. Shift it one. No, keep the one in the palm. Shift that. There you go. Now it empties out your two little fingers. They come down. The ball. No. The ball is not moving in your palm. So if your thumb was holding it here, this is what happens. The fingers have to fold and grab the ball, and the thumb relaxes. So the ball does not move out of that palm. Keep it down there. Make your fingers come down and grab the ball at the palm and just hold it there. Don't pull it back yet, because that's frog eyes. See, there you go. So the ball is in the palm of the hand. Your fingers come down and touch and hold it there. Touch them just hard enough to hold them. If you're squeezing them real hard, you're wasting energy. Touch them just hard enough to hold them. Stretch one finger out. Go down your hand just like we did on the other hand. One finger at a time. If you have a problem, if I raise finger number 3 up and number 4 jumps up too, take one finger and hold your little pinky down and move that third finger. Now to get back to position number 1 from position number 3, the ball that's being held closest to your thumb has to come back down into the palm and your thumb grabs it. And then their little pinky comes over and moves that ball into the middle. I kind of call it like a pop fly, and all your outfielders are coming in. The reason I say that is because I've been watching people, and they'll keep their fingers out here like that, and they'll move like that, and then come in. It's kind of touchy right there. So you want to, while you're moving this little pinky and moving that ball over here, get all the fingers to come in and catch it at the same time. Kind of let all your fingers come in to the center. And you're back to position number 1. Okay. When I came out of the operation, they reconstructed that joint. They said, well, that's about all you're going to be able to do with that thumb. So I went home, and about 5 months later, after going like this, I still remember the day that I got home and went like this, and I said, boy, and I couldn't even get my thumb to grab a hold of it, but I just kept, and then I finally got this, and then I would move, and then I finally got, so every time I did it, got a little bit better, and I regained complete movement into that thumb. Well, it was wild to me. I went back to the Barnes-Jewish Hospital in St. Louis. I went back there, thought I would just blow this doctor's mind and excite him to no end, and so he could tell other people that he worked on, you know, there is hope. And I said, look what I can do. Look, I want to show you that I regained movement into that thumb. And he was not impressed. It was almost like he was offended.
Oh, yeah.
Because he did something that he said was going to be impossible. And it just blew me away because it was a complete opposite of what I would have expected. I would have expected him to say, show me what in the heck you did there, and I'm going to give that to all my patients that come out of operation.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He said, oh, that's really good. That's really good. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm glad that things are going okay.
Yeah.
Leaving.
I'm standing there going,
Yeah.
what's that about? So,
Ego.
yeah.
Little.
Movement's the key. Boy, I tell you, I'm notorious. I almost cut this finger off doing wood flooring, cutting some wood flooring. So my hands have been pretty beat up from doing even breaking techniques when I was younger with Taekwondo and karate. You really realize, we were talking We were talking about a guy in St. Louis who breaks like marble and stuff with his hands. These huge chunks of marble. But his hands are so beat up that you know he's got arthritis in them. His knuckles are so swollen up and they're just a mess. He can hardly write his name. He got his autograph, it's just a scribble thing. He can't grab a pencil. You know, it's just a mess. For what? For what reasons? Because he can break something, you know. And it's just, and he's a Korean master, so it's just kind of sad to see people get so off onto one thing. And I was there. I mean, I loved it. The reason this whole break, the first time I saw anybody use this eagle beak, they shattered a piece of homemade brick. They had a kindling in their backyard, and they made these chunks of bricks, and they were like this big, and they would hold them like this, and he'd go, poof, and it would just poof like powder. I'll never forget the first time I saw it. I thought, boy, that's a fake brick. Yeah, like you're gonna have a kindling in your backyard and do all that just because it's fake, right? So they had these little piles of them out there, like little rocks. And so I pulled one out, and I go like that, and I said, boy, that's a real brick. You know, that's pretty. I couldn't believe they were shattering them with their fingers here. So that's one of the things that impressed me about it that I wanted to learn. And I just have in the last year or so been able to break a board with this now. So it's taken me that long. When I was 19 years old when I first saw it. But the thing about it is it wasn't about the breaking technique. It was, you know, they said you have many things to learn before you get to this place. So, but look at that. I mean, that's a hard knock. Boy, if you hit somebody in the sternum with that, or in the chin, or in the forehead, in the shoulder, just like right in the eye. Yeah, it's a good strong peck. Okay, well, I think we're done with the chime balls.